I'm Shellie Geigle, and I'm with J&S Hobbies and Crafts, and thank you for stopping by to view this video on how I made this 7x9 mini album. This is a holiday mini album. It's featuring the Heartfelt Creation Celebrate the Season paper collection. It's a non-traditional color, and it's just excellent. It is so nice to be able to step outside my box and use a colorful purples, teals to create a holiday keepsake this year. So let's take a look at what we'll be making today. Really quick though, if you are a beginner, this is a step-by-step, so you can create this exact same album. I don't leave anything out. So good luck everyone, and let's check out the overview of the album.
So let's take a look at what we'll be making today. This is a 7" by 9". And the colors are just beautiful. Non-traditional holiday colors, and I just enjoyed working with it. Everything flowed together very well. Very colorful. Okay, here we go. So for page 1, we have a little pocket behind this. And these are magnetic right here. We have a little pocket here to get our stuff in, and this is magnetic as well, and we have a large pocket there. Here is just a large pocket. This is a magnetic flip here, just a small little thing that can hold your picture mats. I got a couple in here. On this page we have a fold out, but the sleigh is a pocket, a nice sized pocket. And one thing you can do with a lot of these little panels is create like a folder. I didn't finish in here yet with any decorative paper, but you could lay it here and then plant your photos. And then this flips out, and we have a generous sized side pocket there. And then back here, we have a very large pocket for those larger photos. Okay, this is just a side pocket. This is I fold out a magnetic one, plus it's a pocket here, so you can take your stuff out, just stuff stuff in there. Flips out again, and we have another good sized pocket in there to get stuff in there. Here we have a magnetic gate, but the sleigh is a pocket, so you can slide whatever you want back there. And then it opens up. This is a fold out that will hold some photos, and it's all the way across, so you can put a larger one in than I did. And it folds out again, another pocket, and then the large pocket to store larger photos. Over here, just a large pocket with some beautiful details. Here is a fold up. Flip that up. Large pocket here, well, decent sized pocket. And this flips out. And a pocket here. And again, I utilized the front of one of the panels and made like a book. Okay, over here, this flips out. And right here, I wanted to show you something there. Right here is a little pocket behind the gift. So if you'd like to slide something in there, perhaps a small little picture, you can do that. That's going to fold out. And this is a very generous size pocket, side pocket. So you can get in more than what I got here. Oops, get that in there. And then here, what I have here is like a little flip out, little mini inside the mini. It's you just, you know, and there's more. Just keep, so you can just keep planting your photos in there. And then the gate is a pocket. This paper is just beautiful. Non-traditional, and I love the colors. Bright and pretty. Okay, right here, this is magnetic, and it just flips right on out. Behind here, you can put a photo. A very generous pocket here. Larger photos can go in. Flips out, and again, you have places for your photos. So that is what we will be making today. So let's get started with our materials list. Materials list. Okay. This is a really elegant, elaborate album, and I did bring back some dies for us to use that I've used in previous tutorials. The main ingredient is the Heartfelt Creations Celebrate the Season paper collection. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if you can see. We've got purples and teals, and oh, it is absolutely to die for. This holiday season coming up, I will be doing some tutorials using different holiday papers, and this will be the first one I'm working with. I will be using the already made Heartfelt Creations 3D Flip Fold album in white. I found that the white looks really good, and for those of you who have not used these before, the album's already pre-made, the chipboard and the binding, and it has pages in it. So we will be decorating those, and we will be making our own pockets and fold-outs and everything else. So I am using my own line of cardstock. It is 65-pound cardstock. It's 8.5 by 11, and this is the value pack with 50 sheets in it. So that's what I'm using for white cardstock. On the cover of the album, I have a new color of a frame. I'm starting to get those back out after we redid we got rid of the rubber molds for the frame, and we went into a steel mold, injection mold, so that we could keep up with production of these. This is in the color of chrome, and I'm not sure if you can see that real well. We did redo these. These are harder, and they are done on both sides. We are not tinting the resin anymore because of the cost. What we do is we produce these in 2 base colors, either white or black, and then we're spraying them in the production room. And I'm hopeful that you can actually see the color of this. Let's see. Maybe that's easier to see against. There you go. Chrome. It's very pretty. All right. So that is what we will need. Let's move on to dies that I will be using. Let's start off with the new Celebrate the Season dies and stamps that came out. And these are great. I'm using the Celebrate the Season die. It's the HCD 17106. And then there's the matching stamp, which is HCPC 3747. I'm also using the gift wrapped present stamp, and that is HCPC 3748. We will be stamping on different pattern paper, and then we will be cutting those out. And the presents here, the stamp, the matching die that goes with this is the Ornate Sleigh and Presents HCD 17104, and there is the matching stamp as well. There's two of them with the sleigh that we need, and this is the Ornate Sleigh stamp HCPC 3745. I don't know if that's helpful or not when I give the number. Also in this collection is the Festive Gate and stamp and the matching die. The stamp is HCPC 3746 and the die is an HCD 17105. Okay, for flowers. I used these last year in several tutorials. This is the Sparkling Poinsettia stamp and the matching die. And I believe they have 4 different one of these available. And I'll tell you which one I'm using. I'm using HCPC 3680. And it looks like that. It's a big cluster of them on the back for the stamp. The die is HCD1766. And you get the big one-piece cluster of the poinsettias. Also bringing back from other tutorials, which will help us from having to buy new trims, dies, is the Fleur Borders and Pockets die. It's gorgeous. You get these pieces. HCD 1778. And of course, the Ornate Borders and Pockets die, HCD 1780. And the Regal Borders and Pockets, HCD 1779. I will not be using any Martha Stewart punches in this. However, if you don't have a die cutting machine and you have the punches, I'm going to try and make it real simple for you to use those as I've done in other tutorials. So you can use those instead of the dies. And yeah. Now, to go along with some of my poinsettias, I have some of these stamens, and I do sell these now, and they're great. This is like a 3-pack of them, the flower stamens. And for instance, here is a flower I made. I can't tell if you can see. I think I need to shut the blinds, too much light. Anyway, the stamens are here, and then they've got these stickles on there. It's really pretty. So I did use those. Whoops. Okay, the Dove Blender starter set. It comes with the pen, it comes with the refill, and some extra tips. I will be using that because we will have some coloring and things that we're going to need to do with that tip as far as inking and stuff. Alright, for the closure, I'm going to use this. It's the Dritz and it's nickel. And 3 come to a pack, so you only need 1 set in here, and you'll have more for other albums that you make. The adhesives, I am using the 1/4 inch score tape, And I think one should do us just fine, maybe 1.5, but I'm going to try and get away with one of these. And then for the glue part, which saves on a lot of the score tape, is the Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Glue. There's no glitter in it. The name Art Glitter is just the brand, and this will work on your metal. It'll work on your paper. It will work on resin, plastics, wood, you name it. So this is a very good brand, and you'll want to buy the metal tip so that you save on glue. It controls your flow. For this tutorial, you will want magnets, and if you're buying them from me, I sell them in a 10-pack. They're a very heavy-duty, strong magnet. Whoops! Like I said, they're strong. Anyway, you'll want 2 packs of them for this tutorial. Very strong. Bling. You are going to want your bling on a roll, and this is the single strand, and it's really good for decorating our pages. Wink Stella is being used on the flowers. Wink Stella, for those of you that don't know what it is, this is the clear, and what it does is it puts a shimmer on the flowers. So I use this a lot. Stickles. Stickles I am using. Silver or ice. If you have ice, that will work. Now, I have some stickles that are purple like this coming in, as you can see. And I'm using up what I have left from the dollar store, but I have to tell you, when you see me use this, don't laugh, but some of the cheaper stuff that you get, it dries up inside, and I have been digging out clumps of dried. So I do like the stickles. The texture of it's better and everything. However, unfortunately, I'm going to use this. And what I've done here is I'm putting it on flowers to really make them sparkle and everything. And then also some stickles. I have frosted lace and diamond. Inks I am using in this tutorial. I have used in several tutorials before, so if you have them, awesome. Okay, mementos, Lulu Lavender, Sweet Plum, Elderberry, Pear Tart, Pistachio, Olive Grove, Teal Zeal, and Tuxedo Black. You're going to need the Tim Holtz Bar Q frames, and 2 come per pack, and we just need 1. I'm also going to use some flat back pearls. Now these are the ivory 1/2-inch flowered flat back pearls, and I'm just using several from this 20 pack here. Some things that you're going to want are a paper cutter, a scoring board. You are going to, if you are using the flower stamens or putting holes at the top of your tags when you're done, you'll want a paper puncher, little hole thingy. You'll want a pair of scissors, also ones that are good for cutting out and around, fussy cutting. A hot glue gun. I do use that for quick tacking. I like to use the hot glue gun on putting my flowers down because it's real quick at grabbing, and also for tacking folds and flaps back around behind paper for quick tacking. So let's start by grabbing the first sheet of paper and it is this one. Let's go ahead and trim off this top piece. Before we cut this, I do want to say that you're going to want to make 3 reserve piles or scrap piles. One is for any leftover cuttings of our white cardstock. One is for our cuttings off our paper. And one is going to be for sentiments or cutouts that we use the die cutter for or hand cut out. So let's start, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it this way, so I'm looking at it like this so I can keep cuts kind of consistent, and it helps me when doing these, and I think it helps you too. So looking at your paper like this, measure down 8 7/8 of an inch and cut. We will need this for our spine, so for now let's put this in our reserves. And we're going to be making some cuts so that we can get the most out of our paper pad. So now I'm looking at it like this, and I'm going to measure over 6 inches and cut this piece right in half. This is for our back of our album, so just set this off to the side. We'll grab that in a moment. Let's grab our album. I want to show you really quickly how this is going to play out. So it makes no difference if you're looking at your album like this or like this. The front is going to be either one. Now when we place this, we're going to have a white border at the top, on the sides, and down on the bottom. Do not worry about this being exposed right now. We will get to covering that. The Dritz hook and eye, we are going to lay that underneath here first. So let's get out a set. This piece here that has the hook on it, this is going to be the last thing that we attach to our album. So set this somewhere safe. You can keep it in your package if you'd like. The one that we're looking for is the flat one. You're going to want a binder clip to help keep this where it needs to be. And since we are working with white, it's always a good idea to clean underneath on your craft desk so that nothing inks or whatever residue that's on there doesn't rub off on our album. So looking at this like this, I am going to use my glue, and it does take a moment for this to set. And I'm going to place glue like this. Now I put it on pretty heavy here, and I'm not going to worry about any seepage. So I am just going to place this right down like this. And you're going to leave just a little bit of a gap there where you can still hook through. What I do a lot of the times is with my little piece that gets done at the end, I actually will place this down and put my hook through to see how much room I actually need. And once I figure that out, for instance, I'm all thumbs here. Like right here would be a good spot for me. I can still get it out comfortably. Once I know where that's supposed to be, I am going to use a binder clip. And I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. And I need to bring mine down lower. I was at an angle. You'll want to center yours. So I think I need to add a little more glue there. Yes, I do. So you'll want to just center yours between the top and the bottom. And again, you'll want that binder clip so that it will hold it while it dries. Okay, let's give that about 5 minutes to dry. Set it off to the side. While that is gluing, let's just flip this right on over. Let's get our score tape out, and I've got score tape that's already open. We're going to place this around the edges like a picture frame, and we are going to bring another long strip alongside there. Let's start with that, and I'm going to show you what I have so that you can have the same. This is what I have so far. Now, if you have any score tape peeking out the sides that you can see, you'll definitely want to trim that off. And you are going to want to make sure that you press this down really good. Now, if you notice, when we do place this down, it's going to hit some of the fabric here. So we're going to probably want to put an extra piece there on that side that's going to hit, so that to make sure there is no lifting. Okay, once you've done that, go ahead and place a strip right down the middle. And let's do 2 on each side of that. That should hold us pretty good. We don't have to worry about any of our embellishments or anything buckling on us. It hasn't quite been 5 minutes for me, so I am going to be really careful when I do this. What we're going to do is remove the score tape, and we are going to place this down. And when we place it down, remember, we're going to have white showing at the top and white showing at the bottom, and when on the side we're going to leave a little bit of white there. So let's go ahead and remove the score tape off the back of this. Now, one tip about score tape or double-sided tape is whenever I'm using it, I try to keep my fingers off it. And I always wash my hands with soap and water before starting to use it to get all the oils or any lotions off my skin, because it does take away the intensity of the adhesive. Now I'm going to turn mine like this so I can possibly see what I'm doing rather than get my head in the video. So I am going to try and keep this as straight as I can here. And I'm just going to place this. Now, one thing about this score tape is it is not forgiving. Once it goes down, trying to get it up is a bear. And so I'm going to press down right through here first, around that, without pushing too hard right here to break my paper. So now I've got this, and I hope I got this on straight. All right, let's press this all down. Make sure it's down pretty good, and mine is. Let's go ahead and flip this over. Grab your back sheet, and we are going to do the same thing. Score tape around the outside. We're going to lay extra ones on the side that is going to hit the fabric. And let's make sure it doesn't bubble up. Let's do 1 down the middle and 2 on the sides, just like the cover. Oh, a quick tip about getting the score tape. I'm still putting mine down, but getting the score tape up, if you can't get it up with your nail, grab your craft knife. If you notice, if you just slide that right underneath, if you have your sharp blade, it will pull it up, and you can just tear to get the backing off. This is what yours should look like. Let's go ahead and remove that score tape, and we're going to do the same thing we did before by placing it where you can still see white and evenly there, and the white up here and down here, trying to keep it as even in between there as possible. I'm going to go ahead and lay mine down here. Okay, let's flip this back over, and you know what? Let's get the spine piece on there. Grab this piece out of reserves, and let's go ahead and measure over 8 7/8 of an inch and cut. Put this piece in reserves. If you notice, if you lay it down and center it on the back, leaving a little bit of white from the bottom and the top, you will have enough white on either side before it goes over the crease over here. So this is how it's supposed to lay. It's a perfect width. Flip that over, and let's do score tape. Score tape goes around the outside like a picture frame, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3 on the inside. This is what mine looks like. I'm now going to remove my score tape, And we're going to place this down together. My adhesive is, the backing of the score tape is off, so I'm just going to place this center between the two sides as evenly as possible, and make sure I press this down really good. And that's what you should have. Okay, let's work on our rest of our cover for now. Now, because the covers are usually more intense than what's on the inside, the covers, we usually really go all out and decorate them. We're going to take it step by step. Rather than cutting everything out at once and then sticking it off to the side, to me, when it gets like that, I get a little overwhelmed. So, one thing at a time. And the first thing we're going to do is grab the next piece of paper that we need. In your paper pack, you will find this sheet. On the back, it looks like this. Now, because of my lighting, right now it's in the afternoon, this may be coming across as a blue more than the purpley blue. So what we're looking to get at is these trim pieces over here. So we're first going to cut this off the top, and then we are going to cut between the purple and the blue straight on down and release this. And at the same time we're cutting for that, we are going to cut over here between the frame and the blue there, that trim. So the trims are doubled up there. So let's do that. This is what you should have. This piece here for now, stick this back in your reserves. This piece here that has the dark purple, oh shoot, you know, see? Lost for words. Stick this off to the side. This one's for the back of our album. This one, we're going to measure over 8 7/8 of an inch, which is the same as the length of this, and we're going to cut that down to fit. This little piece goes in reserves, and if this is the first time you have taken my tutorial, you will save every piece of scrap, any cuttings. It doesn't matter if it's just a sliver, you'll save it till the end of the project, because I do go and grab from reserves even small pieces and scraps that you wouldn't think of in order to get the most out of our paper. Okay. This is going to place right here. And what we're going to do is make sure top to bottom that it fits. So we want to make sure that we use enough score tape on this that it really grabs on that fabric there. If you would rather use your glue to do this, then do so. For me, I am going to use my score tape. This is what mine looks like. I have completely covered mine. So now I am going to remove my score tape. Okay. Placement. The flowers are on the left. And we're just going to go. Make sure that I am at the top evenly. Making sure I don't go over the edge where that crease is. I am just going to place this, trying to eyeball this, make sure I stay straight. That looks pretty good to me. And then I'm going to make sure that this is really down by pressing. And there you have it. We're going to go ahead and grab for the back, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and measure over 8 7/8, cut it, the small piece goes in reserve, and we're going to put our score tape around the back. Mine's cut. I've got my score tape on the back. I'm going to remove my score tape now. Oh, and placement. The flowers are now on the right side. So when we place it, it'll look like this. So let's remove our score tape and get that piece down. I think I got mine on a little crooked. Okay, once you have it down, flip it over, Let's do this. Cut a piece of bling that is going to reach the top and bottom, and we're just going to lay it right on that white part in between the two trim pieces. So let's glue that down. Okay, next thing, grab a piece of cardstock and cut it to 4 5/8 by 6 1/8. We're going to set this to the side for now. In your paper pack, you will find this print. On the back, it's just that pink. So let's trim off the top here, and then let's put this on our paper cutter to make sure that we keep an even line. But what we're looking to get at is this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this page in half, and then I'll cut it like that. Okay, this is what you should have. We want this, set this to the side. I think you could see that pretty good. These two go into reserves. Okay, we need to cut this down. All we need to do is measure over 4 1/2 inches and cut. The small piece goes in our reserves. If you were to lay this on top, you should be able to fit with and show a white border around. Let's go ahead and flip this on over. Let's apply glue to the back of this and center and mount this down on our white cardstock. Okay, we're going to glue this down to the front of our album. You'll want to place this about 5/8 of an inch in from the right side of your album here, and 1 1/4 inch down from the top. So I'm going to apply some glue here. And approximately 5/8, so I can see where that goes. About 1 1/4. So you don't have to be total exact. Just do the best you can there. It's not going to ruin nothing if you're off a little. And I think I'm straight. In your paper pack, you will find this sheet for the cutout. On the back, it looks like this. Let's go ahead and start by trimming off the top. Okay, so we are going to need to cut out this piece first. And when I do it, I leave a little bit of the blue because I'm going to use my die for this one. We're not going to stamp. We're just going to cut this out as best we can without getting into the other cutouts on this. And this is one that we're going to stick in a separate reserve pile. And I'm going to keep mine off to the side so I don't accidentally cut into it. Okay, festive gate die. We're going to get that on out of the package. We're going to line this up. And we're going to run this through the die cutter. Those of you that are not using the die cuts, you'll go ahead and fussy cut around this. I've got mine, and I'm going to apply glue to the back of this. And where we're going to stick this is bring the right side of the gate and the bottom over to the right hand corner. And that should lay nicely across without interfering with your bling. So let's get our glue out and start gluing. I've got glue on the back of mine, and I'm going to get this down on the front of my album. Making sure that that's pressed down really good. In your paper pack, you will find this sheet. On the back, it looks like this. We're going to trim off the top, and then we're going to set this on our paper cutter, and we are going to cut this piece out. All right, I'm going to put this in reserves. Now, let's get out the DBS chrome frame, and what you're going to want to do is just position this all the way over to where you can still see the presents, a little bit of the green, just like this. That's what you should be able to see. Now, if you would like, you can put glue behind the frame first. All I'm going to do is hold it here, and I'm going to cut so that this is going to fit behind. Okay, put all this in your reserves. And this is what you should have. Let's grab our glue. And I'm going to apply glue to the outside of this so the frame will grab it. Just lay this right on down. Now, once you have that in place where you want, flip this over. Let's apply glue to the back of our frame. My kitty's at the back door, wanting in, and I hear him on the screen. That's not good. All right, definitely have to replace that back screen. That cat will climb it if he wants in. He sees me working at my craft table. Oh yeah. He can get pretty high on that screen, up all the way up. And trying to detach them is a hard thing. All right, so once you have some glue on the back of here, all you're going to do is center this onto this side by side. And the top part just comes down slightly, like this. And that should grab really quick. Grab one of your flat back pearls, and this will take a moment for it to grab, but we're just going to glue that right up here at the top. Now it's going to slide around for a while, so just you're going to have to let that dry. That looks good to me. We're going to need a couple flowers for the cover, and one of which is the purple, and it's 2 layers, and it does have the flower stamens in the middle, and then a smaller one that is done with the teal zeal with the flower stamens. Now what I did to prepare for this tutorial is I die cut several of the poinsettias with the elderberry, with the teal zeal, the sweet plum, and then I also did with the olive grove, because this is what's going to be used as the leaves. In order to achieve this one, I'm going to show you, you're going to need one of the larger ones with the elderberry stamp, and you're going to need, if I can get it out, there we go, one of the next size down. So the 2 largest ones, you're going to want to start off with that. For these, it's the same ones but stamped in olive grove. For the teal colored ones, I used 2 of the smaller ones. So to achieve the colors I got, Real simple. Once it was stamped with the elderberry, I went and I daubed around the edges dark with sweet plum, and then I swept the leaves. And I didn't go heavy in the middle at all. I just kind of almost left it alone as far as the sweet plum. Then what I did was I daubed on Lulu Lavender over the lighter parts of the flower. And then I just shaped it. And a good flower shaper, I don't know if you have your own, but I use the Deluxe Flower Shaping Kit now by Heartfelt Creations. It does give you several of the nibs. It gives you a molding mat, a piercing mat, and it also gives you the stylus. I've showed this before in tutorials, but here's the large mat. Here is the piercing mat or smaller mat, the stylus tool. And these just slide right on in there and hold. So I used 2 of the larger nibs that go in there to do it. So this is a really handy kit, and I'm very pleased with it. So once you have your flowers all done, okay, don't glue them together yet. What you're going to do is on the smaller petal, what I did was I went in, and this is just the little hole punch here, and in the middle I just made 2 little punches that are connected to make the hole a little bit bigger because my size is smaller. I then cut off some of these stamens. Whoops. Just kind of folded them over like so. I did cut off the bottom. You don't have to, but I did. So all you do now is, once you get enough in there, you just slide them through into the hole, like so. Okay? And you'll want to put enough stamens in there to fill your hole. Once you've done that, all I did was I used my hot glue gun. And if you are using a high temp, please be careful. I'm using low temp because I will burn myself. Then I just folded them back to stick and arranged them like so. Then I took my silver stickles, or if you have ice, and I just put it on the tips of it. Whoops. And that's all I did. And then what you're going to do is just glue these 2 together, offsetting them, and they'll be shaped by this point. And that's all there is to it for the flower. Same technique. Oh, and then all I did was with the purple glitter glue is just put some on the edges and around, like so. Okay, the teal one was very simple. Once I die cut it out, I went around the edges dark, and then I got off a lot of the, I daubed onto a scratch piece of paper to get a lot of the dark off, and then I just swiped, and then I used the purple to decorate on it. And you'll want to do the same thing with this one, and putting your stamens in and gluing those 2 together. For the green leaves, this was real basic. I did have the stamp with the olive grove, the darker. I then used pistachio, went around the edges very dark and the tips. And then I just swiped it on the leaves here and there. And then pear tart, I went over and just kind of daubed some on here and there. And that's all there was. Now I did use on the leaves of this the stickles that is frosted lace, and I just kind of put some on and I smeared it around. Okay, you will want to apply your Wink of Stella after you've inked first and let it dry before you put on the purple stickles. That is one thing. It will give that shimmering that you need for where you don't put the stickles on there. Okay, I am going to put some on the larger green leaf. I'm going to apply some glue in the center, and I'm using hot glue because it's quick tack, and I'm going to offset my flower. This flower gets placed right here. And don't glue these two together yet, just stick them off to the side. Okay, you are going to need two things. First thing is, let's do the same thing with this by cutting out the sleigh off of our cutout sheet. Be very careful, we will need this one, so if you'd like to get that out too. Put that back in there. The present, we're going to need that. So might as well grab everything at once. Set the present aside. Get our vine off to the side. Now, one more thing we need on the back, you will find that there is a chipboard backing. Let's go ahead and cut out. Be careful not to cut your paper, but all we need to do is cut out the same size as this. So we want to make sure that our sleigh does not collapse on us, so just get dimensionalized. Grab your ornament sleigh and presents die out of the package. First thing we're going to want to do, and you're not going to double these up, you're going to do these separate, is place your plate down and run this through the die cutter. If you're not die cutting, what you will want to do is fussy cut around your sleigh, use that as a template, and either that or just glue this all the way down first, and then you can fussy cut around so you're not cutting twice. So let's do that. If for some reason your die cutting machine does not want to cut yours out, you'll just use this as a pattern then and just lay it on down on your and cut around it. I had to do several passes for mine. And where's my tool that I usually use? Where has it gone? I cannot find it. Interesting. I lost my pick tool. So I'm just going to clean this up now. And then what's going to happen is once I poke that out, I'm going to glue these two pieces together. Okay, the next die plate that you are going to want is out of the Celebrate the Season, and it is for this. Let's go ahead and run this through the die cutter. If you are not using a die cutting machine, just kind of fussy cut as best you can around that. So what I've done is I've used the pistachio ink, and I went and I daubed around the white places here. I am not going to ink around the sleigh. I then took the Olive Grove and went around the edges to darken up just around the tips and around there. Whoops. We're going to place this right here where that scroll is. And the only places right now that we're going to place glue, once you slide it there, because we do have to slide some other things, is right under here. Get that to stay. You can go right behind this. And you can go, and you're not going to hurt this by pulling it up right in here a little. Let that catch a little bit there. Leave this unglued for now. Now, what you're going to want to do is slightly bend that sleigh. And we are going to glue that down. And I'm going to show you where I'm going to apply the glue. I got to look here what I'm doing. Okay, so now we're just going to put this at the bottom. Grab your binder clip. Just clip it right down here. And you're going to want to hold this for a moment so it's kind of bowed out, as you can see. Just enough, but not too much. If you didn't get the spots that needed, then you're going to just add glue where you need it to have it work for you. And I'm going to hold this here probably for about a minute. I'm using a clamp on the side to hold this down. Grab your next leaf, and we're just going to slide that right on in like this and glue that down. Apply glue to the back of this one and glue that right there on top of that leaf. Let's get our cutout sheet, and we're going to grab this, and this. And we are going to die cut these, or if you don't have the die cutter, of course, from here on out, if we're cutting from this sheet, you'll just fussy cut around. So let's get these all out. In your ornate sleigh and presents die, you will find this one, and this one, the die plates that will die cut out these presents. So let's go ahead and die cut those out. The mittens can be found, the die plate, on your Celebrate the Season. So let's get all those done. Okay, you'll want to ink around the edges of this with elderberry, then you'll want to use your teal zeal to go over it, and it creates a different color there. On this one, I just used elderberry to ink around the edges to darken it up. And on this one, I just used the teal zeal to go around the edges. I'm not going to ink around the edges of the mittens. So we're going to set that off to the side there. Let's grab this one, and we're going to apply glue to the back of it. And we are going to just slip that right there. Now that you have the present down, you can go ahead and add your glue behind here, because this does overlap on top of it a little. And we can get that down. Grab this one, apply glue, and this one gets placed all the way at the bottom, right here. This one, we're just going to place right up here, like that. And I think you can see that pretty good. On your Celebrate the Season stamp set, you will have these two and we're going to get those out, and we're going to create these, and we're going to stamp this directly on white cardstock and ink it to the colors that we want. So what you're going to want to do is grab your olive grove, and you are going to apply the ink to this. You will grab your elderberry and you will ink this one, stamp it, and then the matching die to this is in the Celebrate the Season, and you will die cut it out. Okay, once I stamped this with elderberry and I die cut it out, I went over it just with a sweet plum. And then I added the purple stickles, and the silver stickles went in the center. For this one, real simple, I went over it with pistachio, daubed on a little bit of pear tart, and I used the silver stickles to just create some lines, and at the tips I went, and then in the middle is the purple stickles. Now once these are dry, we're going to place one right here. This one is just going to place right here. And we're going to let those dry. Real simple. In your paper pack, and it's the very last sheet, you will find this. On the back, it looks like this. We're going to just cut right on in here after we take off the top and cut out Happy Holidays. So let's do that. Stick this back in reserves. And for this, we're going to cut around the outside, and then we are going to ink around the edges really good with teal zeal. And I'll show you what mine looks like. This is what mine looks like, and I think you can see that pretty good. Okay, first things first, let's get our mittens. The mittens are going to place right like this. And this, we're going to bend it slightly. It's going to slip. One side is going to glue down to the frame. And the other side will glue down to the paper. So this is what we're going to look like. So I am going to apply my glue, and I'm just going to cover it, making sure I get where I need to get. Pull that down a little. Apply my glue, slide that there, pull that down a little more so I can still see Happy Holidays, and I'm going to let that glue dry. So let's give it a few moments for the glue to adhere. My glue is set. This is what mine looks like, and yours should look like that too. If you'd like to do more decorating, wait till the end of the project. All I'm going to do now is open up my album, lay it down flat, and let's get our Tim Holtz ornate or bar cue frame out. In your reserves, you will find this sheet. Let's go ahead on our paper cutter and just cut all the way down, and then we're going to cut this one out. Put everything back in reserves. So this is what you're going to have, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to mount this right on down on top, and then we're just going to cut around so it will frame around this nicely. So let's do that. I've got mine cut out. Now, if you would like to stamp a sentiment in there or something, you'll want to do it before you glue the pieces together. Or like for me, what I would do is come back with a pen when the album is complete and maybe write the years, the Christmas or holiday pictures I decide to put in here. Or you can do whatever you like. I'm just going to glue it down like this. So the first thing I want to do is get the paper set. So I'm just going to go around the edges really lightly with my glue. And now I'm going to apply glue to the back. And this just gets placed right in the middle there. And that looks good to me. Once it is set, we can flip it over and we are going to cut a piece of bling that will fit. And we're going to do the same thing, just putting it right there and gluing it down. So let's do that. We have one more thing to add. I totally spaced it. This gift that is round. Let's cut that out and either fussy cut around it or use your die that goes with it. And then we are going to ink around the edges with teal zeal. So let's do that. All right, this one, apply your glue to the back, lift your little leaf there, and just put your gift right like that. Now the cover is complete. In your paper pack, you will find this sheet. On the back, it looks like this. Let's go ahead and trim off the top. And then what we're going to do is measure over 6 inches and cut. We can go ahead and double these up. Now let's measure over 8 inches and cut. These two pieces stick in your reserves. This side, stick off to the, stick in a different place. We don't want to cut into this. This is going to be for page 2. And how I go about numbering them is like a book when you read a book. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, 5, 6, and so on. So right now we are working on page 1. So we'll set this off to the side for page 2. Grab a piece of cardstock. Mine is 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. Measure over 8 inches and cut. Now measure over 6 inches and cut. Keep both pieces handy. We're going to set this off to the side for a moment. In your Regal Borders and Pockets die, you're going to find 2 plates. And you'll notice that these do work together. And the most important thing I can say about this is you want to make sure that you are, when you place your bracket down, try to be even in the center from top to bottom. And then you're also going to want to be even between this point here. I found my thingamabob here. This point here, this point, and this point. So once you've got that, I usually use a removable tape or a washi tape that it doesn't have a real good adhesive on it. Sometimes just grabbing a tape and putting it on your sleeve of your shirt to get a lot of the adhesive off works very well. All we're going to do is put the bracket down and run it through our die cutting machine. Now, if you don't have dies, what you can do is use the Martha Stewart deep edge punch and punch along this side. So let's get that first done. So this is how I usually do with the tape so that it holds my bracket in place. And if you don't have a tool to help you with punching out some of the cutouts here, I might recommend the Spellbinders tool-in-one. I like that. All right. Well, what we're going to want to do is cut from this point at the edge of our die cut down if you're using a die plate. If you're using the Martha Stewart, you'll just keep it as is. And then we will cut from here to here to release this top section. I like to use my paper cutter so I can get straight on both sides. Let's grab the other sheet and we're going to do exact same thing. Placing our plate, or if you're using a punch, punch along the long side. And we're going to run that through our die cutter. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to release this top portion, so I'm going to set this on my paper cutter and cut from here, here, from here to here to release this. Let's get our scoreboard out. Now this one is the wider, and what we're going to do is we are going to score at the 1/2 inch and the 5/8 of an inch. I'm using a different scoring board, so I want to make sure. I'm so used to grabbing this and using my pencil and everything that I'm now having to break that habit because now I have the scoring board that gives me the 8s. So, okay, score at the 1/2 inch mark on this one and the 3/4 of an inch. Let's fold. In your paper pack, you will have this sheet on the back. It looks like this. Let's go ahead and start off by trimming off that top piece. All right, I grabbed the wider fold out here. And because each of us used either this die, perhaps they used a different die trim, or you used your deep edge Martha Stewart punch, we're going to do this the easiest way. Your flaps, fold them all back behind. You're going to need a pencil. And we're not going to start at this corner of the paper. We're actually going to start at this corner so that we all stay together. You're going to bring this up to the top, leaving a little bit, I'd say you can leave about 1/8 of an inch of white showing up there. You're going to bring it over to the right. Line up the right side of your page with the top of the white piece there. Leave about a 1/8 or a 1/16, like I said. Now come on over here. You can still see the edge of your fold out, the white cardstock, and you are going to make a pencil mark, and you are going to leave the same distance that you left up here over here, about 1/8 of an inch. So I marked mine with pencil. Now I'm going to trim this all the way down. So let's do that. All right, let's work with this. Put this in reserves so we don't have too much going on here. So when you place this, you're going to place this back where you had it before, lined up. And so that you can still see your white cardstock at the top, you're now going to see your white border going down the side. And you can see where the edge of the white cardstock, the bottom of it, meets. We're going to do the same thing now. We're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch of white border showing. So you'll want to mark with your pencil about 1/8 up there. Now let's cut. And if you're unsure, I'll show you what mine looks like in just a moment. Stick this in reserves. So what we are trying to get at, and your flaps are off to the left and they are tucked back behind, what we're trying to get at here is a nice border of white showing at the top, the side, and the bottom, like that. Okay, what we need to do is prepare a small little pocket here that will also allow us to still have a photo placed up here if we'd like. Let's grab a piece of cardstock. Measure over 3.5 inches and cut. Stick this in reserves. Now, for this pocket, we don't quite need a piece this long. The idea of this is to be able to have some sort of flaps hanging over the side to wrap around the back so you get the most out of your pocket. So we're going to trim this down a bit. Okay. Measure over 5.5 inches and cut. If you were to lay this down, you will see that you will have adequate flaps that we can wrap around the back here in a moment. All right, I am getting into my Ornate Borders and Pockets die. If you do not have this die and you're using punches, you'll want to use the deep edge punch like Martha Stewart. And the one I'm going to use is this one. So the two pieces is this and this. And I'm going to do the same thing as I've done before. I'm going to center this down, making sure I'm even from side to side, and I'm even from this point up and this point up. Then I'll place my bracket down, and I like to leave a little gap in there. Sometimes it just makes my thing look a little nicer, sturdier. So run this through the die cutting machine now. So this is what you should have once you've punched or got your little cutouts done there. We're going to place this on our paper cutter and cut from here up, from here down to release this. If you're using a deep edge punch, you'll do no other cutting. Just wait for us to catch up. Okay, so to mount a pocket, for those of you that are new to doing this, we're going to take our score tape and we're just going to place it at the bottom of the paper, and you'll want to make sure you press down really good. We're going to remove the score tape and we're going to bring this down, and one thing you're going to look at is to try and keep this even side to side. And we're just going to bring that to the bottom of our page here, a little fold out, and press down really good and smooth outwards. Now, sometimes I just grab it and do that. So we're just going to wrap these around the back. We're going to flip it over, and this is where I like to use my little hot glue gun for quick tacking. I'm going to add a little glue there, and I'm going to add a little glue there. And now we have the pocket. Let's get our paper for this. In your reserves, you will have this piece on the back. It's pink. It is not going to be tall enough to fit this, but that's okay. So we're just going to place this down at the bottom. Just lay it right on down. Grab your pencil, make a mark where you need to trim it off. Now let's cut. The small piece put back in your reserves. Let's grab our glue, and we're going to put glue on the back of this. Hey, what happened here? Now, either that or I need to refill my bottle. Okay, now, there it comes. Apply glue to the back of this, and just mount this. Making sure you press that down really good. Okay, in your reserves you should have this page on the back. It's turquoise. Right down here, Tidings of Comfort and Joy, we're going to put this on our paper cutter and cut across this way, and then we're going to cut down. This is what you should have. Now if you need to trim the edges to fit across your page, go ahead, but we're just going to mount that right like that. So let's get our glue out and glue that down. Okay, we are not going to glue this down yet. This fits right here. We're going to set this off to the side because we do have magnets to install. But first, let's just get this all done. We are still working on the wider one. Now let's flip that over and get our pieces for in here. Okay, in your paper pack, you will find this sheet. Let's first go ahead and trim off this top part. On the back, it's this. Alrighty, so we are going to just flip this right on over and we are going to start up here. You'll need your pencil and all we're going to do is bring that up, leaving the white showing about 1/8. When you bring it over to the right, leave about 1/8 of an inch from that inner score line. Now what we're going to do is come over here to the edge of the white cardstock, move in about 1/8 of an inch and make a mark on our paper. Now let's trim. Put this in your reserves for now. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're going to fit okay. If you lay this down, we're going to actually leave white border on this side, this side, this side, and up here. So come on down to the bottom of where you can see your white cardstock, move up about 1/8 of an inch and make a mark on your paper. Now we're going to trim. So let's do that. Make sure that you are going to fit. Now on this piece, when you flip it over, we're going to do a little fussy cutting here. All we're going to do is cut out and around this piece and bring it all the way up over here. So I'm going to show you what mine looks like so we can get the same. This is what mine looks like, and I'm going to need 2 inks to ink around the edges. One is the Olive Grove and the other one we're going to use Elderberry. So really quick, I'm just going to get where the green is there. Does not take long at all. And then with the Elderberry, I'm going to get where the purple parts of this is. All we're going to do is place glue down around the edges. So in case you do want, we do want to put something up underneath, we can slide it just underneath that. So now I need to refill my bottle. So just like that's good. I'm not going to back this like in my other tutorials. I don't really think we need to. I think just sliding something back underneath there will work just fine. So if you have a photograph or something, you can just slide that right on in there. Okay. Whoops, I got ink on my page. Not good. That's okay. By the time I'm done, it's not going to be that noticeable. Okay, next thing is, let's go ahead and we can actually install a magnet. So let's get our magnets out. And we will have several magnets for this. The first one I'm going to place right here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down there. And now we're going to glue this down. Okay. Let's go ahead and attach this first one. Actually, we have to wait because we have one more thing to do. Cardstock. Let's grab, look in your reserves. Cut a piece of cardstock that is 4 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/2 inches. Okay. After you cut a 5 1/2 inch by 4 3/4 inch, I am 5 1/2 inches tall here. I'm going to use the Floor Borders and Pockets die, and I'm using the larger bracket. And I'm just going to lay that right on down like this. And I'm going to leave about, ½ inch, maybe a little more on each side. But I'm going to make sure that I position this where I'm straight this way and that way. And I'm going to run that through the die cutter. Now those of you that are not using the die plate and have the 1/2 inch and deep Martha Stewart punches, what you're going to do here, you're going to look at yours, I think this way, where you're 5 1/2 inches wide. Grab a ruler and just draw a line. Now cut this in half. You'll want to grab like a 1/2 inch punch, and what you can do is punch along the long side here all the way across, so you'll end up with something like this, so you have a decorative corner as well. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is, once we get that there, we need to release this top part. So all I'm going to do is, let's see, where am I coming in at? Oh, I'm going to start here first so I can see what I'm doing. And I will come straight on over here, and then I'll clean it up just to get this off. Perfect. All right, up here, go straight across. And down here, we'll go straight up. So this is what you should have. Let's get our scoring board out. I've got mine laid out like this. And I am going to find where the edge is, and it looks like for me, depending on your width here, so what I want you to do is find the score line that is at the edge of yours, and I think mine's right about here. And I'm just going to score once, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'll just flip mine right on over and score. Some poking through to do here. Looks like a few didn't release. Okay, so now just fold on your score lines there. Let's take our scissors and this little corner notch. We're just going to cut that right on out. Carefully cut it out like that. Grab your sheet, and you will fold one side underneath the bottom, and the other side will go like this. Make sure your score lines, you've folded really well on those. So once you've got that there and you know where it's supposed to be, get it positioned where you're fitting snugly down here in the corner. And once I have that, all I'm going to do is pinch to hold it. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to tack this down. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there, and I'm going to add some glue over here. And my score line was off, I can tell you that. So I have some. If you did what I did, where I got a little off on my bracket when I was doing that, so when I scored it, it made a little overhang, I'm just going to clip that off. See, I'm definitely not perfect either. All right, so we got that so far. In your reserves, you will find this sheet. Let's go ahead and separate these two, and we're going to work with this one. For those of you that have done this, the Martha Stewart, and you've scored down each side, and you've got yours laid down like so, all you're going to do is take this piece and you are going to cut it to fit. Okay, so you will line it up, use your pencil to mark where you need to fit, and you're going to cut that. Now for those of us that use this fancy die, we're going to place our bracket down on it, and we're going to conserve space, so we'll move it over to the left here, leaving a little spacing, and we're just going to run this through our die cutter. For those of us that have die cut onto this, we will just go straight on up to release, and right over here. And I still need to punch through some of mine that didn't go all the way through. All we're going to do is grab a piece of cardstock and slide it back behind because we don't want to get glue seeping out. We're just going to lay this down, and we're going to allow a little bit of white to show to separate our purple from this. And once we do that, then all we need to do is look at the side where this is and make a mark, and we will trim it this way, and we're going to trim it that way. So let's do that. I had to grab a different color cardstock because I couldn't see with the white cardstock back behind here and the white on here. So all I'm going to do now is apply glue to the back of this, and I'm going to glue this down. Again, trying just to leave a little bit of white, not a whole lot, showing as an outline behind this. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, the cardstock helps a lot with getting the glue that seeps through so it doesn't get on our page. And I like to flip mine around and just double check and get anything blotted up. Okay, now make sure that you've got all the glue from behind yours, if it's seeping through, blot it up. And I think I got mine pretty good. Let's go ahead and attach our first fold out. And I need to clean my work area because I am getting stuff on my thing. So with this, it's very easy, and the easiest way I can tell you how to attach this is with your flaps, you have an outside and an inside score line. At the outside one, pinch it like so. Then just bring it, this should be the same height as your paper. So once you have it there in place, pinch it, hold it. If it slips on you, you feel it slipping your paper, you have to start all over. But once you have it, then you can add just a little bit of glue and tack that down. Then you can move back your fold out so that you now have your spacing. And this is what yours should look like. Okay, so we have one magnet already here. This one is to keep this one down. So once you have this in place, flip it over, grab one of your magnets, and make sure you only have one. These do tend to like to stick together. Place your magnet down. It will find the mate. And I'm just going to put a little glue really quick back there. So now this will snap shut. Okay, this one is going to place on here, but we can't glue it yet because this one needs the magnet. Let's flip this on over, and this is the inside. Our flaps are off to the right. Our flap, anyway, is off to the right. In your reserves, let's get this piece back out. This is on the back. We're just going to flip this right on over, and we're going to start from this side here. And we are going to leave a little bit of spacing in between that inner score and the top. And we are going to do the same exact thing we've done before. So I'm going to make a mark here where I need to trim down. So let's do that. This goes back into reserves. Now I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to lay this down so that I have a white frame going around when I look at it. And now I'll come down here and mark it where I need to trim it and cut. The small piece, if you were to flip it over, you should have this. So what we are going to do is grab one magnet. We'll get our glue out before we get this down and do our other stuff, before we forget. And you're just going to place that down far enough away from the bottom of your trim there. This, we're going to cut around the fence. Cut around. So I'm going to start cutting mine, and then I will show you what you should have. This is what mine looks like. Now, if you got your paper all turned around and you're not having the same little piece as me, look to see if you have anything decorative on your piece and cut around it, and then continue on with what we're going to do. If you do not, for now, what you can do is just cut a piece of cardstock that is lower, and make sure you have flaps, and you can wrap it around the back, and then you can add, and I will pick something out of the reserves that you can use to place over yours. Okay, for the rest of us that did not get turned around, as it happens, I am going to find a piece of scratch cardstock in my reserves. Again, you've got to leave some flaps on either side. So I am just going to bring this where the tip comes up, and I'm going to try and keep this straight. I'm going to place this on my paper cutter and cut first along the bottom. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is come up to the side here with our scissors, and when I cut around this, I am going to leave a little bit of white showing. I think it looks nice to separate the colors. So I'm going to try and come in even over here. So if you're not sure what I'm getting at here, I will do mine and then I will show you. This is what mine looks like. Let's get our score tape, and I am going to pick a piece out of the reserves for those of you that may have gotten turned around that didn't get that piece, so that you have something to place on yours. Or you can just wait until the end of the project and keep these off to the side. So once you have your score tape down and you place this down, just wrap your flaps around the back, and we can just tack those down. And once you do that, we are now ready to place this on the inside. Remember, flaps are off to the right, and I'm going to add my glue. So if you got turned around, you'll want to watch carefully of where I'm cutting, and I try to stay consistent. So, and sometimes, because we have a lot of paper, it can be kind of tough to you know, stay with the program here. So, okay, so we have that. Those of you that need a piece to go across, let me grab something really quick. In your reserves, you will have this. And this is for those who didn't get the little gate out. On the back, you will see this. So what you're going to want to do, first thing, is just place yours down on your sheet. And I'd say make sure that your purple is showing, your two flowers, and make a mark and cut. Then what you'll do is you will cut that by 2 inches, and then you will go ahead and mount it onto white cardstock and wrap your edges. So with this piece, I'm going to set off to the side so I don't accidentally grab this later in the tutorial and mess those people up. I'm going to put these off to the side. Okay, we can attach this now so that we can get our other magnet on here. And all we're going to do is I am going to fold it on the outside score line, and I'm going to slide this over. I'm going to pinch it, turn it over, and tack it down. Now I can move it back. Okay, since we have a covering over the magnet, it's okay now to grab the mate because it shouldn't tear up from the other side. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue, put the mate on top of here, you dab a bit of glue. Now slowly bring this down and press down with your finger, and what you'll see is where that magnet should place on this side. It's like a guide. And now all I'm going to do is dab a little more glue here in the center and make sure that that goes on top. Our magnet is placed. Now we can actually grab this piece and glue this down, right like that. So let's do that. Once you got that glued down, let's try out our fold outs and see how we did. I closed all mine, and then I'm going to open this one. Mine are behaving, and we can now get this piece. In your reserves, grab this piece out. We're going to flip it over and look at it this way so we don't cut into the wrong panel. So we are just going to place this right on down, and I'm going to bring it up. On this one, I am going to leave a little bit of the white cardstock showing over here, and I'm going to make a mark where I need to be here, and at the same time I'm going to make a mark down here. Now my first cut is going to be across this way. We do not want to cut into this. Once I've cut across this way, I can then come and cut down this way. And we're also going to cut around this piece to release it. So I'm going to show you what I have so you don't accidentally get confused. So this is my cuttings. This we need. This we need. Flip it on over. Put this off to the side. And this can all go back into our reserves. For this, we're just going to apply glue to the back. I want to mount this to white cardstock to thicken it up, and it also equally serves to separate the colors out. So it's easier to see key points of the page or things that you want to show more. So let's grab a piece of cardstock. All right. I'm going to add some glue to this, and we're going to do this the easy way. We're just going to place that right down on a piece of cardstock, making sure we're even down here, and I'm going to probably leave about a 1/16 of an inch of white showing as a border all the way around when this gets cut. So I have my little border on this side and this side. So now all I have to do is put this on the paper cutter and cut this out. Oh, and really quick, if I seem a little scatterbrained, it's because I keep hearing the workers in the yard, and if it gets too noisy, I'm going to have to stop filming. They're ripping up the front yard and the back yard, everything, and leveling it out. So Just an FYI if you hear all these strange sounds. Prepare 2 flowers. One that has the sweet plum stamp, and then you're going to color it in with Lulu Lavender, cover it with your Winka Stella, and then you're going to use your purple glitter glue or stickles. You will be putting some of the flower stamens in here if you have those. If not, you can put flat back pearls. And then you'll do another one with the teal zeal. And these are the smallest ones. And I'm going to use a flat back pearl for the center of this one. So until I can get a new one here, I'm going to use the silver or ice on this instead. And all I'm going to do is just put a little bit here and there on the tips, real lightly. If you'd like to do more with the stickles by adding in a little bit more down here, you can, like so. So we have to let those dry. While those are drying, let's grab what we just worked on, and we're going to apply glue just underneath this small corner, because then we can slip stuff back behind there. Now when you put this down, grab a scratch piece of cardstock and lay it underneath there, so in case your glue seeps, it doesn't glue your pages down. And when you put this at an angle, make sure that the corner of this does not go over the side. It can catch. Okay, so you have that there. I'm going to place my first one right here so that I can still see the true joy. And that should still be able to open okay. Yeah. And the blue one, well, let's see. Joy of the season. We don't need true in there anymore, so we can just stick that right like that. As long as we can see joy of the season, we're good. I'm now going to take this, slide it back behind, and I'm going to slide this right there so it's on this, and I can still see joy of the season. Right like that. I'm going to press mine down. So you should still see joy of the season. If you need to curl back your flowers a little more, go ahead. Okay. And this should be just fine. There's that. There's that. I'd say this page is complete. Let's flip it over. Now we will mount this after we complete page 2. We are going to place our score tape down and around like a picture frame around this, like so. We're going to put one long piece down the middle, and we'll be doing all of our pages exact same way. And we're just going to put 2 shorter ones on either side, and that should be plenty. We shouldn't have any buckling. So for now, let's just set this right off to the side until we're done with page 2.